DJ Blake.
She said she a fiend. Little baby, she loving the green. Little nigga, no, you cannot fuck with the team. You get out of pocket, get hideous spleen. You get out of pocket, get hideous spleen.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
You want beef with the bros, then it's me too. Got my first check off a lick, then I seen two. Phony niggas can't see him, yeah, they see through. You was trying to make it out the hood, nigga, me too. Getting hungry and I'm focused, yeah, I need food. Split with my brothers, I ain't eating less he do. Probably think a nigga Steve, how I see clues. Run up on me, must be cooked like some seafood.
This next artist moved to Seattle from Lowell, Massachusetts. Once moving here, the Emerald City showed him that he could turn his dreams into goals. And that is exactly what he's doing. Introducing Nino Bands.
Don't play fair for the cash, whole gang coming deep. Have you fearing the whole gang? Free John is fuck all the ops. Heard them nerd niggas squealing, how they front of you with the cops. Time is money and I stay on the clock. Can't call you the gang if you ain't clutch on the Glock. And I stay with these all YG phasos, stacking up the bread like these bitches is Legos. All I want is to make it out the ghetto, smoking on this gas while you smoking oregano.
Welcome back, everyone. This is DJ Blake, keeping you up to date with all the hottest hip-hop news and sneaker talk. And today, I'm with a very special guest.
Nino Bands was popping.
Nino Bands. So I met you the other day, literally last night, at the Little House Fund concert.
Yeah, that show was lit.
Dude, that's dope. I've never been to the warehouse.
I know, that was my first time too.
Have you ever even heard of that venue?
Nah, cause I ain't even from out here, so I wouldn't even know about all that.
Yeah, so where are you from again?
I'm from Lowell, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And are you out here just to perform, or did you move out here recently?
Nah, I moved out to Washington. I moved out to Tacoma in 2016.
Gotcha.
And then, yeah, I've been out here for the past 3 years, just kind of doing my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that concert speaks so many different levels, though, because that dude's from L.A., and weren't all those people at the concert from Seattle, though?
Yeah, most of the people was from Seattle.
And that's so fucking interesting, though.
Yeah.
You know? Like, that guy really sees, like, the Seattle wave. Are you starting to see that wave that's happening in Seattle?
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of talent coming out of Seattle, for sure. It's
right.
just, they didn't get the chance to get that shine,
Yeah. Well, I've talked to all these artists about the fact that it's the connection problem. That's the thing that makes us different from, like, L.A., New York, Atlanta. They always they already have that connection hub. Oh, you know that artist? I hope you meet Dr. Dre.
Yeah, everybody's really trying to support each other over there and all that.
But we don't really have that here, which is really freaking weird.
Yeah, it's a problem, but it's just people gotta get to the point to where they want to see other people win, so they can win together. You feel me?
Right.
It don't always gotta be no beef or nothing like that.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
So when did you start music? Did you start it in Massachusetts or when you moved here to Seattle?
Nah, it actually started when I moved out here. It was probably my second year out here. I just started freestyling at the crib and shit. And then from there, I just kind of fell in love with just making music.
That's so interesting. I've heard so many people that say they moved to Seattle and then they started music. Even though Seattle isn't that name yet for music.
They ain't really got that name yet.
That's so interesting, though. Yeah. So what made you start wanting to freestyle in Seattle?
For me, I don't even know, to be honest with you. It came out of nowhere. It was just one beat. I think it was a TK beat. It was
The Race?
Yeah, The Race. That's like the first beat that ever really made me want to just hop on something because it was so hard.
Damn.
And then, you feel me, I got on it, and then from that point on, I just kept writing. Every day type shit.
Dude, little TK is going to live vicariously through you because of that act.
Whoa.
He's like, dude, that guy's gone, bro. He has like 50, he's either getting the death penalty or has like 50 years in jail, something crazy like that.
Yeah, I don't
that
really
guy's
know
done.
too much about his situation.
Shout out TK, though.
Yeah, shout out, bro.
So, are you part of like the underground scene in Seattle then? Because the warehouse, I think that's almost maybe one of the most underground you can get.
Yeah, I mean, my name's starting to bubble up a little bit, but most of my fan base is from the East Coast a little bit. It's everywhere, but Seattle, my name in Seattle is starting to come up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think it's easier to get your name out when it's not in Seattle though? Then, if you're saying you have a fan base on the East Coast.
I mean, I feel like if you're from here, it's probably easier, but I just grew up in the East Coast, so most people know me from out there just based off me,
right?
And they kind of support my music.
That makes sense. Yeah. So, Nino Bands, what's the meaning behind that?
Nino Bands, I had a couple names before Nino Bands, and then I I didn't feel like those names was really gonna do nothing, so I just started thinking, and then I was thinking about my favorite movie. You ever seen the New Jack City?
Nino Man.
Nino Brown.
Nino Brown.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I'm finna have to use that. You know, that was one of my favorite movies growing up, and I just kind of used that, and it sounded raw. I just threw the bands at the end, and then $2 signs. It looked raw too.
Yeah, that looks dope, dude.
Yeah,
For real.
sure.
So what I'm actually starting to notice is, like, I say this a lot, but I see it that, like, I like to call greater Seattle as a whole, you know, like Everett, Tacoma, Kent, all those places make up Seattle, so that it counts as Seattle in my opinion. But when I zoom into those different sections, like, I really think that Tacoma is like popping off though.
Tacoma got hella talent,
Dude.
for real, for surely.
Yeah. So
talent.
have you been able to meet those artists, and if you do, how is the connections out in Tacoma work?
I tapped in with a couple, but I ain't really tapped in with too many artists out there.
Right.
You know, but they be showing support though, for sure.
Do you know who Kodak the Great is?
Kodak. Yeah.
Dude.
Oh yeah, I actually talked to him a couple times through just DM and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had an interview with that guy. That guy's dope.
He hard. He hard.
So how were you able to? So you moved here 2 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago, and then 2 years ago you started making music, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
So how is it is it easy for you to find venues to perform at? Like, how does that work for you?
To be honest, it just comes to me kind of. I ain't really look to perform like yesterday was my second performance, so I ain't really be getting into the performing aspect of the music yet. But you know, I'm gonna start tapping in though.
Yeah, that's interesting though, because some artists say it's really easy for them to find venues. Other people say it's hard. But what are you doing for yourself if you're not performing to make yourself stand out versus any of these other Seattle artists?
I'm just putting a lot of work in right now. I'm moving a little silent right now, putting my work in, hitting the stool, stacking up my chicken.
Right.
And then, you know, once I got everything together, it's like I'm just going to take off, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just going to take off.
It's the silent people are the ones cooking up something, you know? The actions speak louder than words.
We got a plan. We got plans in the works.
Right.
You feel me?
So what is your, like, writing process when you go to the studio? How does that all work out for you?
I ain't gonna lie, like, right now, I write songs before I hit the studio because I ain't really in the position to be in the studio, like, all day like that.
Right.
So it's just, I write all my songs. I might go a week and just write hella songs, and then I pick which one I want to go in the studio with today, and I'll probably go get an hour in, and then probably have that song done in an hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's important, though, dude. You're, like, writing, like, almost every day, and then it's good to have a plan. If people have a plan and aren't just, like, lollygagging around and, like, it's going to just come to me if I release one single, then it's going to happen.
You got to put that work in.
That grind.
You got to put that work in.
That's actually so interesting. So when it comes to producers, are you just sticking with, like, Tacoma producers? How does that work?
I get all my beats off YouTube, to be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of producers been hitting my DM lately, just sending me stuff, telling me that, you know, I could get on their beats for free and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to work with some new producers.
Right.
Yeah.
So you said you're, like, working, like, on yourself kind of way when it comes to music.
Yeah.
Is it easy, though, for you to make connections, or how is connections working out for you in Tacoma?
Really, it's just, if I mess with who you are, like, if I rock with you, I fuck with your vibe, and I could feel like that there's this cool connection there, like, I'm gonna rock with you, but it's like, I don't really go out to try and find new people and all that. It's like, if we come across each other, if we cross paths, and you cool, then, you know, we can stay in touch, and we can see where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope, though. What is the difference between Massachusetts and here? I know you weren't part of the music scene in Massachusetts. Maybe you knew artists or something like that.
Yeah.
But what's the difference between the music scene in a way in Massachusetts versus here in Seattle?
Well, in Massachusetts, I would say my city, Lowell, we don't get a lot of shine like that, but we got a lot of talent just in everything, producing, the music aspect, the, you know, dancing, videographers and all that. We got a lot of talent out there, but it's not really seen like that because we kind of overshadowed by Boston. Because, you know, when you think of Massachusetts, the first thing you're thinking of is Boston. You're not going to think about Lowell, but you feel me? I'm trying to make a name for my city.
Yeah. That makes sense, though. See, you have that's a good perspective to have, though, because Seattle, in a way, can be related to your city, you know?
Yeah.
Like, both of them have so much talent, but they're just, like, underground in a way right now.
Yeah.
Do you, when I told you about, like, are you an underground artist, you're kind of hesitant to say, like, you're in that kind of scene.
Yeah.
Do you think there's kind of, like, a stigma when you say you're an underground artist, or?
Yeah, because it's like you putting yourself in that category as underground. You know, I'm trying to break through that. I'm trying to go past underground. You feel me? Yeah.
Do you think, is there a difference between, like, SoundCloud artist and underground artist, or are those just like synonyms in a way then?
I would say there is, because you can be on SoundCloud and you just dropping music, but like underground artists, like they kind of got a little buzz to them. They got a little following.
Oh yeah.
They got people that's willing to, tap in every time they drop.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people are like happy in that little bubble, kind of in a way.
Yeah, I can't stay in that.
Yeah,
bubble. I'm
that makes
trying to
sense.
go right past that.
Yeah. So what are the messages, or like what are you trying to portray through your music?
Shit, to be honest, I'm just trying to show people like you could get somewhere in life. You feel me? Like I'm just trying to show people that I came from a position where you probably couldn't. I couldn't grow up and be like, I couldn't think that I could be anything I wanted to be. You feel me? I'm not gonna lie. I want to play basketball, and then you feel me. When I was young, I want to be in the WWE, but all that stuff. That
You want
was
to be
like,
wait. You can't just zoom over that. You want to be in the
I want to be
WWE?
a wrestler when I was a kid. But yeah, so I like in my mind, all that stuff was just dreams. Like I didn't really think I could really do nothing. I didn't really think like music.
Right.
Once I started making music, I didn't even think I could make music like that. I didn't think I could become famous with it. It was all a dream.
Right.
But you feel me? I'm still getting there, but I don't think I'm there yet. But I just want to show people like you can start from nothing and make that into something. You
Right.
know?
It's important to be humble though.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you have. But was it the community aspect that made it that you didn't feel like you can make it, or like once moving to Seattle, were you like enlightened in a way?
Like
or?
moving to Washington, that was like my first time really out the city. So like my whole life, all I knew was Lowell, Massachusetts. All I knew was the Mills.
Right.
That's all I knew. So once I moved to Washington, it just kind of showed me there's more to the world.
Right.
And then that just kind of, it sparked a little fuse in me. And then 1 year in, I started making music, and you feel me? I'm chasing my dreams.
Yeah. What inspirations do you get from like the Seattle?
You say inspirations?
Yeah. Or if you get any from Seattle in general.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, when I moved here, like this was the first time I started hearing West Coast music.
Oh.
So when I started making music, I was kind of on a little West Coast vibe, because you feel me? When I came out here, that's all everyone was listening to, all that West Coast music. So I didn't really know about all that.
Yeah.
And then, I ain't gonna lie. So when I started making music, I was kind of on that little West Coast wave a little bit, just kind of sticking to what the environment was, kind of adapting to it. And then I kind of just switched out of that kind of quick.
Yeah. Like it's important to realize for any up and coming artist that you don't want to follow the mainstream wave completely.
Yeah.
Like you can gather inspiration from it, but no one's going to be the next Travis Scott.
Yeah,
Travis Scott is himself.
You gotta be the next you. That's all you can do. Just start your own wave, kind of ride your own wave.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think? And everyone has a different opinion on this, especially like whatever genre they're in or anything like that. What do you think the Seattle sound is right now?
Seattle sound, I don't know. It's kind of like you kind of throw it up in between two, cause like Seattle, they got a little wavy kind of sound to them. But it's like there's a lot of people that's coming to Seattle from other places, and they kind of popping off. So you can't really like put a sound on Seattle. I don't know.
Right.
Like Lil Mosey's popping out of Seattle, so it's like you could kind of see his sound as a Seattle wave. Mm-hmm. But then you got when you go into more of the hoods and all that, like they got kind of West Coast vibe to them. They got that kind of gritty, like grimy music. You feel me? So I don't know. It depends on where you're talking about. In Washington.
That's so interesting though.
Yeah.
But I think if you're gonna live in Washington, Seattle's the place to be though. In the general vicinity, like if you're in Washington, you don't want to like. I don't think there's unless you're listening to the hick music or some shit like in the mountains.
Yeah.
Like outside of here, it's just mountains. Like there's like a little bubble right here, and outside of it, you got the bears and the cougars and the lions. But this is the place to be. I think that's part of your journey to move out here. If you want to follow your dreams to be an artist, I don't even like to use the word dreams because dreams are something. And you were kind of saying this too. You just thought it was a dream.
Yeah,
and something that can't happen.
It could really happen.
But you have to be goal oriented, and that's important for people to hear that you might not have the resources to be in the studio every day, but the fact that you're writing every day, that says like that speaks so much,
Yeah.
And it's really important to, if you want to be part of this wave, because it's really interesting, because I think it's really, really important to be an individual here in Seattle, but people do have to realize it's not even copying them. It's just the fact that if you want to be popping like how LA is, people do have to make those connections, though. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Everybody gotta want to see everybody else win.
Right. But I want to know, you said that was only your second time performing last night?
Yeah, that was my second performance.
Dude, that was fire as fuck.
Good looking out, bro.
Yeah.
Good looking out.
How does that feel to, like, be in a crowd like that? Because, who was this? I forget who it was. It was, do you know who Rel G is? He's from Tacoma.
Rel G? Nah, I don't know who that is.
Basically, he was saying that up-and-coming artists, they want all the shine, and they don't want it. They're like, what? I have to perform in a small audience? Why am I going to do that? I want to be on the main stage, you know?
For me, it's like, it's an opportunity just to,
Yeah.
Right now, I could be on that stage, and it's like, right now, it's kind of like a practice for me, kind of.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to fill it out a little bit. So it's better when it's not even that packed like that.
Right.
You feel me? I can make my mistakes and all that and learn from them. And then when it gets to the point where I got 3,000, 4,000, however many people in the crowd, like, I'm already knowing what I'm on.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What do you think, when you do find people who are willing to connect and stuff, what are your opinions on that? Like, how does it make you feel to find these, like, actual connections? Because yesterday, like, just in general, like, you can tell that the crowd were true, like, Seattleites that actually cared with what was going on in Seattle.
I mean, it was everybody was there. Like, at first, it was kind of like, you know, there wasn't that many
Right.
people in there. But once everybody got in, like, they was all kind of really feeling the music and enjoying the moment rather than,
Right.
you know, sometimes you go places and everybody on their phone, everybody just
Yeah.
kind of in their own world.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think it takes as a performer? I know it's only, like, your second time performing, but I think every time you perform, there's something new that you learn, right?
Yeah.
What do you think you have to do as a performer to make it so the audience stays engaged?
Just kind of stay, what can I say? Just engage with the audience, you feel me? Like, just make sure they always focusing on you.
Right.
And, you know, just keep the vibe going right.
Right.
If you turning up, they gonna turn up no matter
Yeah.
what. They gonna turn
Yeah.
up if you doing your thing.
What made you decide, though, that this was actually a possibility for you?
I would say back when I shot my first video.
Yeah.
When I shot my first video, that's when I started to feel like, because when I shot my first video, I had shot a video before that, but this was like my first video for like my own song. And I didn't really get that feeling the first time I shot my video, but when I shot a video for my own song,
Right.
it was kind of, I felt like, damn, like the whole world was kind of
Yeah.
stopping, and I was just kind of doing my own thing. I was just turned.
Yeah.
And I felt like, damn, like I kind of want this feeling all the time. And I
Right.
started seeing like the possibility that like this could really happen.
Right. That's
Yeah.
dope. That's actually
That's
so
actually
exciting.
crazy. Yeah.
Dude, you're like smiling the whole time you're talking about it, too. Like, I can see you there in that moment.
Yeah.
As you, like, continue to grow and your platform grows, what are other parts of the industry of music that you want to spread out to, you know? Like, do you want to get into, like, clothing?
Oh yeah, I definitely want to just with my business side. I kind of want to invest in a lot of different companies. I'm trying to make money without music.
Right.
Yeah.
Go into that, because some artists don't realize that. Like, a lot of these artists, even, like, big artists like Jay-Z, music isn't, like, just his number one thing. He has business ventures
Yeah, he
also.
a billionaire. He on
Yeah.
some other shit.
What are your steps that you're trying to go through? Because, you know, music can be, like, your main career, but you're talking about the business side. So go into the business side a little bit.
I feel like I can watch what's going on with other artists, and I can see kind of the mistakes they make, and I can see people who actually make investments and like go into real estate or stuff like that. They make clothing brands. You know, they actually have like their name is not just on their music. It's in clothes. It's on merchandise. It's on everything. It's
Right.
everywhere. So like you're putting your brand out for sale, and I'm trying to get on that. I'm trying to be able to have my brand, have my name, have BCG everywhere.
Yeah.
You feel me? Ninoband's everywhere.
So go into BCG. What is that?
BCG, that's the gang. That's me and my brothers. You feel me? It ain't no gang, but that's my brothers. You feel me? Like we grew up together and all that. That's
Yeah.
the people who I got around me. And we don't recruit. We don't do none of that.
No recruiting.
None of that.
So I can't join, bro.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
That's important though. Like, that's crazy. That you're the first person, maybe the second, but no, actually, I don't know. That's actually huge though to hear that. Like, there's more steps. I feel like for anything, even like if me getting into radio, you getting into like the music industry, that's honestly a step.
That's a big step.
But there's more. Whatever you're actually able to like grab attention onto, like that's what Kanye West did. You know, he blew up off the music, and now he can put out an album. Like if he wanted to, he could wait 5 years to put out an album.
And everybody's still going, attract to it.
And it's because he made that name for himself and was able to get into like the clothing industry after that.
He's working with Adidas.
Dude.
Like, he got a lot of big endorsements.
What is some advice that you have for up and coming Seattle artists, creators, influencers?
I would say just stay in your lane. Just keep doing your thing, because if something's meant for you, it's gonna get to you.
Right.
So just keep doing your thing, and if it's gonna come, it's gonna come.
Yeah. What is something that people can't get about you through your music that you want people to know about you?
I would say that, in my music, I got like my music kind of turn up music. It's gonna make you feel a lot of ways, but I'm just trying to show y'all that I'm really willing to put a lot of work into this music to get to where I'm trying to get to.
Yes.
I might not put a lot of the things that I'm feeling all the time into my music, but I just want people to know that I'm a real person. I'm just doing my thing right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, Bands, what are some final words that you have for Seattle?
Shout out Seattle. Shout out, you feel me, Tacoma, Lakewood. Everywhere I stayed out in Washington, shout out y'all. I'm from the Mills, 978, Lowell, Massachusetts, putting on for the city. And everybody who ain't heard of me, you finna hear about me soon. Tap in all my music, Ninoband. You can follow me on Instagram, Ninoband 978, all that. One love.
Yes. This is DJ Blake and
Ninoband, baby.
DJ Blake.